Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Whitton and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chats. Marvellous Monday. Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are. If you think it's Get Rich Quick, you're in the wrong place. This is the wrong podcast. This is the wrong live for you. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Hope you're all awesome and well. Hello. Good morning, team. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me know in the chat. Hey, good to see you. Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats. I wasn't around yesterday, but back today. Well, I was around, but I was over at another seminar that I go along to called NISI, Nail It and Scale It for Business Owners. So I think I saw a few of you there. So hello, if I did see you yesterday or the few days before. But a big good morning to everyone this morning. Hey, James. Good morning, mate. Good to see you. Welcome along. Great to see you up and at it. Early bird catches the worm and all those sorts of things. Good to have you here, mate. There's Jody as well. Morning, Jody. Great to see you. Fantastic. Thanks for joining. For those who might be new, a big hello to you. Let us know in the chat if you're new. Say a hello and let us know maybe where you're coming in from. We've got people coming in from all over the place, people often from many different locations. Be nice to get to know you a little, even if it is on this online and whatever. Jason Whitton is my name. If you didn't already know, now you do. There you go. And if you are new, what are you doing here? What's going on? Why are we having this chat? Well, listen, if you haven't already realized and you maybe didn't already know, this is about property investing and specifically long-term property investing in residential real estate in Australia. That's what we do. That's what we support. That's what I've done for over 20 years around Australia and New Zealand, by the way, helping Australians grow their property portfolios. Goal and idea of creating some passive income and some wealth, maybe significant wealth and passive income is the goal into the future, because we all know the government ain't got no plans to look after us in any significant way. The basics, maybe keep us off poverty line. Well, matter of fact, the pension's below the poverty line. Stay on track, Jason. You get off track. But here, that's what we're here. And we want to sort of wade through, folks, the fear from the facts, the noise and the rhetoric, and stay on track as property investors. It's actually not that difficult to buy a property. It's actually quite difficult to buy the right property in the right spot for the right reason at the right time. Timing, hey, listen, if you're medium to long-term property investor, timing can help, but, that's the last consideration, to be quite honest. 20 years' time, it won't matter if you bought it, this year or, the year before. But right now, if you want that momentum, there are some things that might make timing right now maybe a little bit more important when it comes to should I take some action? Because
today I'm going to chat about this group of professionals for the first time ever in my 20 years saying that property prices are going to go up. Now, that's pretty interesting. So, good morning, Padam. Good to see you. Bunty's here as well. Morning, Bunty. Padam's from Melbourne. Hey, it's pretty cold down there, I hear, but Melbourne's a great spot. Enjoy Melbourne immensely. Jody's in the Gold Coast. Hey, Jody. I'm in the GC as well. Fabulous morning on the Gold Coast today. Absolutely beautiful. Luke, good to see you. Hey, this morning I want to talk about what little article that's out and about property prices going up. But before we do, let's put this in perspective when it comes to value and value of real estate. Who decides? There are three parts to this value conversation, and let me bring this up and we can sort of do this together. There's three parts to this value conversation I want to sort of maybe talk about today before we talk about some things that are going on. Who are the three people that help you and I as property investors reconcile, consider, come to an understanding of a property's value? Folks, the property's value. Now, this is kind of a loaded question, but play along this morning. I'd love to see it in the chat. Who are the three people that you would, or most people would, ask about the value of a property? And I want to put it in sort of context of this, right? So we've got three different contexts here. Morning, Alison. Who does the banks, maybe you and many people, default to when asking for a value of a property? But these professionals, these people look into the past, and we're going to talk about property investing right now. Who looks at the past and says, considering what's happened in the past, I think this is what the value of the property is right now. Like, whose default position is that? Put that in the chat for me, folks, because there's someone who talks about the value of something now, and there's someone who's going to talk about the value of something in the future. But who talks about it standing here now, looking at the past, trying to have a little look? Now, Alison, you might be technically right about the past, maybe the last 30 days and the next 30 days. So let's put that negative 30 days plus 30 days. And over here, we're looking, 365 days, and more negative 331 days. So you're technically correct, Alison, in they do look a little bit in the past, but these professionals look a lot more in the past than a real estate agent. Who would they be? Chuck that in the chat for me if you play along at home. But that professional would be a valuer. Someone who's a valuer. The valuers go, all right, well, what's happened? I'll stand here today. Most of the time they're working on economists. Yep, they do that too, Luke. The valuers say, I'm standing here today. Somebody has engaged me, usually the banks or the mortgage insurers, to give an opinion on today's value. But, where I'm going to draw my stuff from, I'm going to look at the past. And the past is usually within the last 3 to 6 months. But it depends on the volume and et cetera, et cetera. But let's not complicate it, right? Let's not complicate it. Now, Alison, you've already given the answer to the next one. Someone who gives you an understanding of something that might be worth something right now in the moment. If you said, all right, I need to sell my property. I want to sell my property. I want to know what it might be worth today in the open market. So depends on who you ask when it comes to value of a property, right? The value of a property depends on the point of the who you're asking and what they're going to use it for. Okay, because this is kind of like risk and reward and all sorts of other malarkey, right? So then we go, okay, the real estate agent. Well, as the real estate agent, they're a little bit more excited often, especially in a market if it might be moving along. They might give you something a little bit more positive about the market or negative. It depends on what's going on. But it's right now. Hey, I can sell the property in the next 30 days for X. Or I think the market is a range between X and Y. All right. So the valuer, they look into the past, right now, and who looks into the future? Whose job is it to look into the future, team? Whose job really? Who does the best job of looking into the future for value on a piece of real estate? Whose job is it to look into the future when it comes to property investing? By the way, for us, who do we rely on? Who is it that we're going to sort of say, all right, well, yeah, I understand what you're saying, valuer. I understand what you're saying, real estate agent. Yeah, Sam does look into the future. You're dead right. Your advisors, your wealth advisors, your property investment advisors. Yep. But you certainly need to, as an investor, decide and understand from some things that you're gathering from, the now feedback, the location, the rental yield, supply and demand, all this stuff, the type of property, is it, whatever. And you look into the future and you want it to be worth, more money. So you say the valuer reckons it's X, the agent says Y. And, you are saying, hey, to me, the property is worth X, Y, Z into the future. And you do some basic math and you have a look, right? So that's the drill. So you've got to be careful as a property investor. If you're seeking certainty from a valuer about your future, what do you reckon? Is that the right person to seek certainty about your property's value for the future? No, they're not. You're seeking value about your future for the real estate agent. No, they're talking about now. My job as an agent right now is to sell your property in the next 30 days. Let's crack on with it. My job as a valuer is to assess the 30-day fire sale valuation for the bank so they can lend you some money so they can get out of trouble if you get into trouble, right? They're not looking at your future, which is interesting, right? So for us as investors, we have to go, right, well, what does it look like for us? What's going on in the future? And over the last little bit, folks, we've all had chats. You've been on Wealth Coffee Chats and we've talked about the underlying economic stuff that's going on, right? There's plenty for all of us to sort of go, yep, sink our teeth into. We're quite certain that some of the fundamental things that are going on have a very positive outlook for the right property in the right spot for the next 3, 5, 6, 10, 15 years. No problem. No brainer. I'm very, very, positive about it. So, but interestingly, who's the most conservative? Who's the most conservative in these three here? Who would be the most conservative professional in this three lineup here when you have a look at, who would be, being positive about prices rising in the future? Chuck that in. Who'd be the most conservative? Who would be the one you'd go, that probably, least about a future when it comes to property values rising? I'm trying to line up reveal here on a little bit of info that I've got. I thought it was a funny thing. As we go along, chuck it in the chat if you want to play along at home. But let's have a look at this. Pretty interesting article came out the other day. Yep. Saying that fewer property valuers expect demand to rise in the next 12 months. But, they're saying, hey, we don't think the demand's going to rise, but here's what we think. We think prices are going to go higher. What's going on? Valuers coming out and telling us that property prices are going to go up. This is a funny one, because if you have a look at this, right, this is an interesting one. My son just bought his first property, and the valuer said, all right, he bought it for 605 in the past, 605. The valuer said, and we had three valuers come out. There was the valuer. There was three valuations from 660 to 685, right? So that's pretty good. He was pretty happy with that. The real estate said he could sell it today for 750, and the investor, my son, is like, well, in 10 years' time, I reckon that's going to be worth $1 million, right? So it's interesting when you look at it like that, right? When you have a look at, okay, which one of these things, do you rely on? And my answer to you as a property investor is you understand and appreciate all of them, right? So, this is pretty good. This is great. This is awesome. But here's reality. That's what he bought it for. So valuers are saying right now, we think the prices are going to go up. Well, I had to pick myself up off the chair when hearing that from the valuers. Anyway, this is what their predictions are out there in the world of property investing. Let's see if I can make that a bit bigger for us all. This is a reminder for us that, we've got some pretty unique times in the world of property investing right now. Okay. The idea that demand, supply and demand, rental yields, population is putting pressure everywhere, and everyone's on board. It's really, what am I trying to say here? It's really interesting to see that one thing which is quite significant for a lot of people, which is the cost of a mortgage impacting the cost of living, is really overshadowing for a lot of people the true value of property and property investing right in front of them. And if you could get access to lending, with borrowing, I'm sure that would change, and that's going to change pretty significantly, and maybe late 2015, maybe even a bit later in the year. But this is interesting, right? So check out this. It's an interesting one. Increased by more than 10%. Units in Adelaide, Gold Coast, and Sunshine Coast. Do they expect houses to increase by more than 10%? Perth, Adelaide, Sydney, Brisbane, Gold Coast, increase for 5 to 10%, right? So this is an interesting one right now for all of us as property investors. If you've got the capacity to jump on, a good deal, do it right now. You guys know that there is like this window in some of the property markets that has been held back by, some uncertainty and some borrowing issues, and, the construction prices rising into the future. But some of the deals that we've put together have locked in their construction costs right now. So, you're getting some significant value in jumping on a deal. So interesting. The valuers are on board, folks. What's lining up here? What's lining up? This is crazy. The valuers are like, the future's good. The real estate agents like, the future's good. And the investors like, and right now, and this is not in general, not you guys listening in here right now, but some of the investors are like, I'm not quite sure. It's the other way around, which is a funny one. But anyway, there you go. Wealth Coffee Chat done and dusted today. Valuers are looking to the future going, hey, we think the values are going to go up. We're feeling comfortable to say that. We're not concerned about things that are going to mess with our reputation and our capacity as valuers to do our jobs. We're quite bullish about the future. Interesting, huh? They're bullish. Real estate agents are bullish. And what I can feel right now is that a fair few people in the world of investing in property are not bullish, as in the investors or the end buyer. about their values. Interesting, eh? The flip. There you go. What can we use that for as property investors? You and me. What's the outcome? What's the point, Jason? Make a point. The point is, folks, that everything is lining up right now, even more than we were talking about a few weeks ago, that the values over the next 2 to 5 years are going to go up. And if you're not on board, you're going to miss out pretty significantly. So again, say this 12 ways to Sunday, 10 ways to Sunday, whatever the saying is. If you can, you should, folks. If you can, you should. Anyway, that's it. I'm rattling on now. Wealth Coffee Chat done and dusted. Hopefully that was of use this morning. Good info out there. If you ever see an article that you'd love me to have a bit of a pontification on, let me know. Chuck, hit me up in the chat. Oh, yes, Alison. And we've got our property summit coming up, folks, very soon. If you don't know what the property summit is, well, reach out to your coach and your team and find out, because we're going to hang out on the Gold Coast and do some pretty cool things for 3 days as property investors. Anyway, there you go. It's 3 weeks away. Crikey, Alison. You've just reminded me. I better get on. I better crack on. I better get going and start preparing for the property summit. Anyway, that's it, folks. Thanks. Good to see you. Take care. All right. Bye-bye. Have a good one. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6-Star team here at Positive Mentor.